Alright, what's up, yins guys? Time for another video. And this is gonna go with another video I just finished making about a particular thing that I wanted to talk to in my earlier times when I was first starting out in YouTube. And this too is when I happened to have gotten unemployed and didn't have my real good paying job like I wound up not having anymore, and then I went to college. But yes, and the time went by, as long as I was on YouTube, and it's going to be damn 10 years already. But this comes up because I always wanted to make a video and talk about this. But yeah, my talking on YouTube, unlike talking in person, is a little bit different, and I'm still even just now getting the swing of it. So I never got around to making this video, but this is just one of them things where I wanted to talk about because it is very relevant, and a lot of us have shit like this we encountered, and I think everybody should, just because of the predicaments, multiple predicaments we're in this world, that shit is out there, and we should talk about it, and we shouldn't shut up and like the society wants to tell us that we should just shut up and just go along with this or that, and anything you say is considered complaining. But anything they say about you that you should shut up or quit saying or quit doing, if they tell you that you should shut up or anything, that's not called complaining. But anything you say and do and you talk about is complaining. It's not complaining until the other person says that you should stop doing or saying a thing. So it's another hypocrisy, and the world is full of this shit, and a lot of us, I think we should talk about it. But anyway, yeah, story back in when I was in college, and this is one of them deals where, okay, any yins guys don't like anybody with the long hair. They should cut their hair, and these damn hippies or whatever. I'm also in this video to tell you you're not alone. Even some of us with our hair feel the same way as you do. And that might sound a little strange, but yeah, I'm going to talk about a little incident. And you might have had guys, whether you're watching, had long hair or whatever, and may have actually, had this problem, an encounter. And this could also apply to if you're black and watching, okay, and maybe you went to college after maybe you had some better paying job. If you're black and you're watching this video, and you might have been like one of them people that were black that I worked next to. Say I had my long hair and I bought, $80 sweaters, went and ate out all the time, bought CDs, and you might be a black guy watching, right? It was like some guy I work with, his leather jacket, gold watches or whatever, and jewelry, unlike the other ones out there, of different kinds of your color or your kind, or unlike any other kind of people like me. You had the different grades of people, and a lot of us do not like each other, and you will have, or you do have always one of your own that you would like to just, grab them and just but yeah, my story right here, anyway, when I was actually, in one of my classes, some of us that are talking amongst each other, and the particular long-haired hippie with his mustache that I actually fantasized in my head about hitting, and I almost wanted to get up and tell him, you got a problem. How he plays a role in it is like, nobody was even talking to him, okay, but how the story goes is, me and this dude were talking because, you're talking to like-minded people, because how you got there, and there's college environment was full of people your age and all that. Some of them got unemployed, and some of them are married and have kids, and they're going back to school. They're collecting unemployment or whatever, and this and that. But you're talking to somebody and amongst yourselves, and there is talk like that this person maybe doesn't like, and nobody's even talking to him. And you're talking to them and saying, yeah, we wouldn't have even been here if we had our better paying jobs, and how we were talking about how shit happens, and if you want to expand extra talents or whatever, or in college, and lead you to be able to expand your opportunities of what kind of jobs you can apply for. Everybody knows that, yep. But then we also indicated too, if we always had the area we were in, and we liked the money we were making, the job we had, we wouldn't be there. And it was talked that there's nothing wrong with actually working for a living and doing it the way you was doing, if everything stood that way. You know what I mean? But evidently some people in these colleges, and I know when I was in college, this mentality spreads all over the place in the college, that the minute these people, damn near everybody that you're next to in college, even though they were no different than you, the minute they get into college, and they're not even graduated yet or nowhere near, graduated, but the minute they set foot into a college, automatically they get this mentality that anybody that works for a living is scum, and doesn't go to college is a scum. The minute they get into college, because they think, just because some of them are young kids and different kind of people too, and they think that the minute they go into college, that as soon as they graduate, they're going to get $150 an hour or whatever, and they're not even finished with college yet, and they already got this mentality that anybody that worked like you is a scum, and actually paid bills and managed an apartment and these know-it-alls. But anyway, yeah, I'm talking to this dude, and the hippie asshole that I actually wanted to bust him in his eye. He actually, nobody's talking to him, right? And I wish that, yes, some of us can get together on YouTube and parody this and act this thing out, have actors to do this, to picture this look again. He's sitting over here, and I'm talking to this dude, like I was saying, and nobody talking to him, and he didn't like he thought something was funny what I was saying, you know what I mean? Like, he had the mentality that I was telling you about, and he turns around, he stretches his, maybe kids that maybe any of you guys watching probably had somebody you went to school with, or had a brother or sister, or anybody, or somebody here and there do this to you, or somebody, a co-worker right now, do this to you. Nobody's talking to them, right? And he turns around, stretches his neck out, goes out of his way to look at me, stretches his neck and do this smirk with his long hair and his mustache or whatever. And I'm busy talking to this dude. I was like, fuck. I gave him this look like, fuck you. Or I think I was talking to this same dude or somebody else later and telling him about this, and I had the fuck you attitude toward it. I'm like, because I was saying, later on I had a conversation. This prompted me to have a conversation later on to say, yeah, the nerve of this dude, fuck you, But my one fantasy was like, you ever get one of them, if you're black watching and another person's black, because you know what I mean, you get this, say you go to college next to somebody, you were already working, and it's like a younger punk, and maybe you were, well, how I felt about this other long-haired hippie asshole, which, yeah, I was basically like, people have the nerve to behave that way and give you a look like that. It's like you were already working and paying bills and buying stuff and held a job, and you were out there in life, while they were still popping pimples, and you were doing it when they were already still popping pimples on their face and jerking off to the cover of Cosmopolitan magazine, and they had the nerve to speak to you that way, you know what I mean? And but anyway, my fantasy about like this dude is, how on television, it's indicated on television, you'd go to jail if you did it, but you wanted so badly to get up and say, you have a problem, and grab him by his throat, and then bam, slam their head on the desk, and then after that maybe take some kind of implement that's in, fold them over the desk, and maybe take some kind of implement, I don't know, pointing implement or something made of wood or other, some kind of piece of equipment, an implement of some kind, and spank his damn ass with it. Turn him over your knee and spank his damn ass until he cries, put it that way. Even though they're older and stuff, if you keep spanking them in the ass, they would cry. but I had some kind of yeah, you can be like me, another person like you will do shit like that, or you can be black watching, right? Like I says, and you can be like a black guy that I work with, like I says too, that Motley Crue's where we worked in factories, that you are friends with and you knew, hey, what's up, and leather jacket, gold watches and all that, and then just like me, I had my leather jacket, $80 sweaters, bought CDs. This video was for people both black and white, or anybody, like you said, that maybe started out in minimum wage jobs, and then somehow you got a lucky break and you had a good paying job for a while, that you got overtime, and I even had things like a profit sharing bonus for a while, and but then you get unemployed, collect unemployment, you try to go to college, and well, in my case too, I went right away, right as soon as I got unemployed, and what kind of fucked me over in a way too is I didn't qualify for all the fancy grants that everybody else gets. None of them actually, because I made too much money because I had a good job too, so hell, they're gonna be cursing and shaking their fist when they see my obituary because it. But anyway, if you made it this far in this video, I'm not saying college ain't good. You still gotta watch what you take, and I think that attitude that I'm talking about should be discouraged. The attitude that just because you get in there, well, if you do graduate the top of your class, some people will make it in something, but then there's a lot of people out there too that, I've seen on TV that they're not finding work too, and they're working a laboring job. But one thing good too, if you went to college for something, especially when everything's getting techie, that if you do have to take a laboring job anyway after you get out of college, hey, the shit I do now, it's a mixture of laboring, and I got to do everything electronically now too, so I'm still grateful that I went and took classes for computers. And before I lost my good paying job and was unemployed and went to college, things were starting to get techie, and I was not a computer person, and before I did go to college, I didn't care about cell phones. Hey, I lived in a town where my brother lives now, and I didn't give a shit about owning a car or any kind of shit like that, or car insurance, no place to park it anyway. And I still don't believe in living on credit and shit like that, you know what I mean? And that was another thing too that I got laughed in my face about, which I do want to say in another video. Kids say, oh, you need credit cards to live. That's another thing I'll talk about. But yeah, so anyway, there's a lot of punk kids that I've actually encountered. There were some nice people, both younger kids and people my age and older that went to college, both with attitudes, and some of them were nice people and some were stuck up. And there was a lot of like young kids who are already being taught by their peers and their parents and their everybody else in society, taught that they're supposed to just live on credit. You need credit cards to live, and then laugh in your face when you tell them otherwise. Like, you don't know nothing, even though you already worked a job and held an apartment and paid bills and spent your money and lived there in life, and they already know more than you do. And yeah, they're better than you and they're smarter than you, because even though they didn't graduate college yet, because they think just because they go into a college, they're gonna get right out of college and all of a sudden get handed a job for about $150 an hour and get paid $150 an hour for doing nothing. And you're the dumbass. You know nothing. The minute they enter a college, they automatically know more than you do, even though you're there with them and you're in a college next to them and you've already were in life, And then I ran into adults that were my age and older who were just as immature as the kids and act in a certain way just like they were overgrown teenagers with the same mentalities as, to try to appease the teenagers. They're acting like the teenagers and so that they can fit in. Maybe some of them trying to relive their teenage years, who the fuck knows, but